Hello there friends, and welcome back to All the Magic Arcana. This episode we're going to be looking into Occultism mod. That's right, we're going to be summoning demons and using nefarious underworld magics to get stuff done in Minecraft. Before we do that though, we're going to need a pretty cool place to do this mod, and that is why, my friends, yes, it's that time again, we've designed another level of the tower. So let's take a look at the Occultism level. Now it's nice to see when we build this tower that the builder still is able to build this level of the tower even though he can't get up. So the builder is actually building this level all the way down 2 levels below on the Ars Nouveau floor. Considering the last 2 floors have been very detail heavy, very big, very eye-catching, I wanted this next level to be very simple and very basic. So the level starts with just stone brick and a bit of a trench. We're using polished deep slate pillars to hold up a little bit of like the next level of the tower. And the bricks we're using predominantly are deep slate bricks, stone bricks, and a little bit of diorite here and there as decoration. So what do we think when we think occultism? Well, it's evil and it kind of uses demons. So to decorate this, I wanted to keep the tower floor mostly black with the walls. And for detail, I thought what we could do is carve some pretty cool diorite skulls into this thing. Now for the interior of the tower, we didn't really have many requirements for occultism. There is one big important thing. We need to make sure the middle is nice and big and circular, because that's where we're going to be summoning our demons and building our occultism summoning circle. Beyond that, there's some bits and bobs, and we've left plenty of room around the outer edge of the tower on platforms to make that a reality. Now, with the skull decoration on the side of the tower, yeah, I know, these skulls do not look incredible. I feel like I've gone back to 2010, very basic Minecraft, and yeah, I'm not actually super happy with these, and I am tempted to go back and redesign them, but the truth is, because we wanted this to be a very simple level of the tower, I'm actually fine with how basic these skulls look. Now, of course, lighting would be a pretty big problem if we didn't take care of that. So we're going to swoop inside the tower now through these thin slit diorite windows, and yeah, just splash down some lanterns as decoration. Well lit and ready to rock. Before we get going though, I wanted to decorate the eyes of the skulls on the outside. And I thought these iron spells and spellbooks soulfire braziers behind the eyes would look pretty cool. Especially when at night you can see those flames dance out from the eye holes. Eye holes? Eye sockets, that's the one. But in fact, that's a good point. We've never really looked at this tower at nighttime. So let's take a wraparound spiral look at this tower now at nighttime. And as you can see, the lighting is pretty cool looking, which is good to know because I've never really designed this tower with nighttime in mind. In modded Minecraft, you almost always skip the night, but I'm happy with how this looks. Okay, the tower is built. Let's get in and do some occultism. Okay, amazing, and there it is up there, the occultism tower, but how are we going to get to that? Well, you may have noticed this last episode, but I did put an extra source stone portal inside our little treehouse here, and we can use this. Again, I don't know why that white square appears, or rectangle, but it's there. We've configured this portal, and this should take us straight into the tower level. So let's take a look. Oh yeah, the occultism level. Can you already feel it? The amount of demonic magic we're going to be doing in this room. So the first thing we're going to do is mark the center of the room by changing the block in the middle. And yeah, smooth stone sounds good to me. Plonk it down there, and bam, let's get ready with occultism. Now this hasn't changed much over the years. Occultism is pretty simple, I've done it before, but it's a very cool mod. Occultism is all about summoning demons. You can even, if you want, summon a demonic wife, should you choose to, and we might be doing that, depends how far we get. So number 1, let's start from the start, dreaming of demons. It all begins with demon dream seeds. Now we did plant some of these before with our Mine Colonies farmer, so we do have a load of demon's dream fruit. The idea behind demon's dream fruit is you're supposed to eat it and it gives you like this weird vision where you can see things from the mod that you otherwise couldn't. And that's kind of like the whole theme for the mod. There's a demon underworld that you can't usually see, but we create tools and eat foods and things that let us see this hidden world. So the first thing we do is we make a little book of demons. Now this isn't like other instruction manuals for mods. You do actually need this a lot as a crafting material throughout the mod. It's a pretty simple craft, so if we open up our storage system. So Demon Dream Seeds are used with a book to make us the Dictionary of Spirits. That's right, it's like a phone book for getting in touch with all of your underworld buddies. So yeah, and this also has like a progression system inside of it. So if you want to do the quests using this, you can, but generally speaking, the flow of the quest chain here is a little bit better. So we got the book, we've eaten a demon dream fruit, it's an experience to be sure. And what is the next step? Well, we're going to want to make something called Spirit Fire. This is like the crafting of occultism, the early stuff. A lot of things that you need, like spirit gems and soul gems and stuff, are made by throwing them into these purple flames. And it's super simple to do. To make purple flames, all you need to do is make a fire with flint and steel, then toss some Demon's Dream fruit into it. So we put down the Demon's Dream fruit first, then we use the flint and steel on the fruit, and that's an important step. If you put down the fire first, all you're going to do is burn up the fruit. But there we go, it's purple flames, and once they're purple, they don't actually give you any burning damage. You don't set yourself on fire walking through these flames. They're perfectly safe. Even so, I do still think it would be cool to kind of, you know, give these a bit of like area of protection. There we go, purple flames, looking pretty cool. In fact, maybe these purple flames would look better instead of these soul braziers behind the eyes. Well, maybe we'll do that in the future. So quest complete, we've made ourselves some spirit flames. Pretty simple. What I want to do is start making our ritual. The whole of occultism revolves around the idea that you make a summoning circle. Before we jump into our first ritual though, let's do some spirit fire conversions, because if we can get some other stone, other saplings, and some spirit attuned gems, we can also get a pretty cool random reward. Might get lucky on something incredible with that, so let's give it a go. We're going to need this stuff anyway, so it's pretty vital to do. So it's andesite. Andesite into spirit fire becomes other stone. I'm fairly sure I've got some andesite. I think I've actually got quite a lot. Andesite, there we go. We'll make a stack of this because, well, why wouldn't you? Toss it in and this should quite quickly become other stone. There we go, instantly a stack. Amazing. We won't stop there though. We're gonna check out the other recipes. Now again, I think you just put like a regular sapling into the flames. Yeah, there we go. That sound effect means something's happening. And we've got some otherworld saplings. You use these to make otherworld trees that give you otherworld logs. Pretty simple, it's the mod specific kind of wood. And the last thing is spirit attuned gems. These are literally just diamonds, so they're quite expensive, into the spirit fire to become a spirit attuned gem. Now we've got a few diamonds, so we're not too worried about that. Diamond. And we'll turn, I think, 6 into spirit attuned gems. We can always make more if we need them. In they go, and out come some spirit tuned gems. So we can turn this quest in and let's see what kind of reward we get. Oh, a wolf spawn egg. Okay, a dog. So before we do this ritual, it's worth asking ourselves, why are we actually doing occultism? Every different mod in a mod pack has a different reason for you doing it. Sometimes you really like the aesthetic, and it fits the theme of what you're doing. Sometimes a mod is just super overpowered, so you can't dodge it. And the one area where occultism really shines weirdly is ore duplication. You can get some crushers from occultism that will get you 6 dust from 1 piece of ore, and that's a crazy 6-to-1 ratio on your ores. Definitely something worth investing in. There's also some other things, for example like netherite, I think it's netherite, smithing templates. These are very hard to find. It's not cheap, but it's a guaranteed way of getting these smithing templates, so it's also another really strong reason to do occultism. Anyway, we're getting really technical, let's get on to the ritual. So where do we begin? How do we make a ritual circle? We're going to need a bunch of things. So number one, we're going to need some chalk. You need chalk of all kinds of colors. It starts impure, and I think you purify it by throwing it into spirit fire. So how do we make impure chalk burnt otherstone, and otherworld ashes. You get the burnt otherstone by, well, yeah, just smelting up some otherstone, which we've got loads of, so that's not an issue. The ash, on the other hand, you get by burning otherworld logs. So we've got these saplings now, these oak saplings from Occultism. Now they look like oak on our bar, they don't look like otherworld saplings. But let's go plant a bunch and get the wood we need. So what we do is we put down the oak saplings, we'll put down a bunch of these. There we go. Then we grow these trees. Oh. That shouldn't happen. Well, I mean, at least we can spot these trees against the other trees much easier, but yeah. Looks like there's a weird texture bug with the mod pack. Probably something to do with my shaders, but that's fine. Now at the moment, these just look like oak logs, and in fact, if we dig this up with touch dig, we're just going to get an oak log. Not what we're looking for. We're looking for the otherworld logs. So you do actually have to eat the demon stream fruit. You got to submerge yourself into the otherworld. And once you get the magic vision, that's just hunger. Doesn't always trigger, you got to keep eating these. There we go, that's what we're looking for. You get about 10 seconds of this, and while you have it, you can dig up these logs and they'll become the wood you need. So do it while the buff is up, and then when it runs out, you're probably going to have to eat some more fruit. So we do, of course, have some pretty cool furnaces. Let's see if I can open up my storage and take a look. We can use the basic yellow force furnaces. We're not going to need a lot of furnace doing stuff. So we'll toss these down, I guess, here. That works for me. Put in some other stone in here and some other stone in the other one. And of course, we'll need some fuel, so we'll grab some coal too. There's 32 in that one, 32 in this one. And this will get us the otherworld stone. Burnt other stone. Very cool. And for the otherworld logs, it's as easy as tossing a bunch of logs into the blue purpley flames. And that's enough for some basic chalk. Okay, man, what a rigmarole. What a ridiculous rigmarole. But there we go, 2 impure white chalk. We can toss these into the purple flames and they'll become pure. Bam! And the quest is done. But the chalk is only one of 4 things we need. We need chalk, we need ritual braziers, we'll need candles to light it up, and we need the relevant books of binding for each ritual. Every ritual requires a different book, and this is usually consumed. But let's move on to the next thing counterclockwise. So we want to make 4 sacrificial bowls and 1 golden sacrificial bowl. Again, this is pretty simple, and I think it uses all the materials we already have. Sacrificial, here we go. There's also some different kinds of bowls. You can make silver bowls, Eisnium bowls. Okay, well, we'll start with what the game tells us to at the moment, which is 4 of these regular ones and 1 golden one, which should also be not too tricky. And there we go, 4 sacrificial bowls, 1 golden. Next up, we're going to need some candles. Demons like candles. Oh my god, they also love crystals and homeopathic recipes, apparently, because those things are actually the stuff of evil. So we'll need candles. To get candles, we're going to need tallow. But yeah, gathering tallow, it shouldn't be too hard. We'll need a butcher's knife, which kind of looks like a bit of a cleaver. And then we just go and kill some pigs, which is, you know, not very nice, but still. Now, it doesn't have to be pigs, it can be any old animal, and that's why this cow over here has won the butcher lottery. That's right, we're going to turn you into tallow. This got us 4, so we'll need a couple more, I think. Let's go and find some more animals. So how do we make some candles? Pretty simple. We've got the tallow, which is a very important part. The other thing we need is string. We don't actually have any string. We do have fluffy though. So if we look for string, we can make fluffy string like this. And I think we're probably gonna need about 20 of these candles. So we'll make 20 string. If we don't, there's always a use for string, so it doesn't really matter. Combine this with the tallow and we get some candles. Very simple. And you know what, my dudes, we're almost ready to rock. Now we need to actually build the ritual area. But we need to look at what this multi-block structure looks like. This is kind of where we need to do the Dictionary of Spirit quests. So we've read this, we've read that, we've done this, we've done that. We keep going through these until we get to the bit that talks about making our first ritual. And here we go, the first ritual. It gives you a bit of a diagram of what you're looking for, but also if you want, you can have it show you specifically where things are supposed to go. And that kind of helps, you know? Yeah, there we go, locked in place. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna dig around where these numbers are, because these are the spots where you have to paint the chalk. Part of me thinks it would be kind of cool to have like a floating ritual and to keep the slabs here, but I think in the long run it would look kind of dumb. So we'll raise it up. I think that's fine. There we go. And we can kind of remember how this goes. So we're going to remove the preview. Right. So we put down the candles. I think they go in the corners. There, 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 and there. Then we paint down with the white chalk, the pure chalk. This goes all the way around like this, I think. Now, every time you paint this down, it gives you a random looking rune. You can keep clicking on it to get a different rune. So if you want all of them to be like a 4 or like this weird S shape, you can just keep kind of pressing them until you get a pattern you like. But otherwise, having them completely random is also totally fine. So another look at the Dictionary of Spirits, and yeah, I think this kind of looks exactly like we want it to. Next up, we're going to want to place down the sacrificial bowls, and these can kind of go around the edge. So before we summon our first demon, we of course need the final piece of the puzzle. It's going to be purified ink and a book of binding foliate. Foliate is a type of demon. They rank up. Basically, foliates rank 1, and you can go higher and higher and higher. And yeah, they become better demons. It's a bit weird, it's a bit complex, but it does kind of make sense once you get into it. So all the pieces are in position. We've got the Book of Binding Foliate, and that is all of the quests complete for our first ritual. So here we go, let's do it. For your first ritual, we want to summon a Foliate Crusher. Again, yeah, crushing is really powerful in occultism, so getting a demon that can crush our little things is going to be really good. So now, the Book of Foliate Binding. Yes, the Foliate Crusher, here we go. Now this thing can take a while. You'll hear like a heartbeat sound every time it consumes something on the pedestal. Yeah, there we go, there's the first one. Yeah, it's not the quickest of tasks, that's for sure. But we will get there. And the last one, the last ingot. Oh, here we go. Let's meet our new demon friend. There he is, the Foliate Crusher. Man, what a badass. Let's take a look at this guy. Yeah, he's a pretty rude dude, there is no denying. How's it going, Foliate Crusher? You won't look at me in the eye. Is this a bit weird? Hello, my dude. How you doing? So the Foliate Crusher. How does the Foliate Crusher work? Well, yeah, you toss some stuff. He eats it in his mouth because apparently his teeth are made of diamond-tipped grinders. Then while it's in his stomach, it's going to get churned up and he's going to poop out the ground-up dust. So let's watch this come out of his butt. Oh, no, I think it came out of his willy. Well, each to their own. And there, like I said, we got 2 gold dust from 1 bit of ore. As you get more and more better demons, they can do more and more dust at the same time. So you can put in 1 ore and get out 6 dust. And that's a crazy, crazy conversion rate. Now, as the mod progresses, you get more and more rare and elusive materials like gold and purple chalk, red chalk as well. You gather more and more rare materials to surround your ritual summoning circle with until eventually you get the best circle in the game and you can summon absolutely anything you want. But there you have it, my dudes. That's a pretty quick and simple look at Occultism mod. It's very powerful. There's some very cool stuff from it. Now, there is one more thing I want to do in this episode, and it's a big job, but we're going to finish the tower this episode. we're going to build the top of the tower, which is going to be a dragon roost. We've gathered a lot of blackstone and deep slate for the job because it needs a lot of blocks. But let's get started and build the top of the tower. So basically, yeah, with the top of the tower, I wanted to get a bit more creative. I wanted to try and sculpt a dragon's head. And designing things like this in Minecraft is never that easy. You guys will know, if you've ever tried to build a statue in Minecraft, honestly, a lot of the time it comes out looking a bit ropey. So I was nervous but eager to get started with it. Now, as you can see, the floor of this level is where the dragons are going to roost. And I didn't want to keep this as just one block, so we've gone for a mix now of cobblestone, mossy blocks, andesite, but also gravel and green concrete powder. Now you're probably wondering, hang on a sec, there's a bunch of holes here. Why are there a bunch of holes in the floor? And for some weird reason, when the builder was placing gravel and concrete powder, they weren't appearing. It must be something to do with the fact that those blocks have gravity and can fall, but yeah, we had to go in after the build was finished to finish those up. Now, the idea behind this level of the tower is it's two dragon kind of like arms, like the bust of a dragon, reaching around either side. The middle has a little source stone portal that you can easily come back to later to make a teleporter from Ars Nouveau. I think that's a cool touch. And also some iron spells and spellbooks braziers, but these ones are soulfire because I think it looks a bit more dragony. Now, as we come over to the top of the tower, yeah, so we wanted to build a neck which snakes up around the back. And we wanted to build a colossal dragon's head. This took a long time to get right, and it's built out of deep slate, blackstone, polished deep slate, and cobbled deep slate, and I think that kind of goes together to make a nice textured, grainy kind of look for a bit of a black dragon. I could have gone a lot further with this, but I wanted to keep it simple so that it was easy to build. And it is easy to build. There aren't that many materials for this level, but those materials you do need a lot of. As the head is being built, you'll see that we've used green or verdant frog lights as the eyes. I use these because I just think they look a little bit better than the yellow or the red ones. It was a nice, cool green look that I'm happy with. And as the top of the dragon's head is complete, you can see those horns that curve around the back. And there it is. Oh my god, the tower is finished. I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. And what's amazing is if you guys download the blueprints, you can make this at home, get your builder to build it. It's all achievable, as you can see in the videos. How you decorate the inside is of course entirely up to you, but I'm really happy with how this looks. This massive dragon's head imposing on the horizon. All that's left to do now is to tame some dragons. So my dude, let's see if we can do that. So the finishing touches, we've got 2 warp scrolls. Neither of them have a position set. We're going to borrow a couple of source jars from up here. We can put these back later. They're only really used for the enchanting apparatus, and that isn't really using that much at the moment. So let's head upstairs. Here we go. Oops. Man, I need to fix that portal. So up we go, and then we're in the Occultism tower. Now we'll put over here some source stone. And it's not super neat. We can come back and fix this later, but there we go. There's some source stone in position. So first up, we'll set a warp scroll facing this way. There we go. So we come out of the portal like this. Then we have to go upstairs to the dragon lair to put that down. Man, it's a convoluted setup this, but we can get there. We can do it. So up we go. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Put down the source jar. Toss in the warp scroll. Boom. Oh yeah. And as you can see, because you've made this 2 layers thick, it just looks so much better not flat up against the edge. That's a pretty cool looking portal. So we'll do the same thing this side. We'll put the warp scroll like that. Dig up this source jar. Oh no! Oh no. That is why you never have your enchanter's wand on your bar. I am never going to recover from this. Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh, well, there goes the portal. But it's okay, because this is the last episode, so mistakes like this can happen. Anyway, let's talk about... We're going to forget portals for now, because there's no coming back from this. I could rebuild, but no, I don't think I will. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into dragon eggs. Now, there's a couple of sources of dragons in this. Number one is the Rideable Dragons mod. And if we come over here to the Drigme farm, you'll see that we've actually gathered some eggs from this. If I can find them, where are they? Yeah, here we go. We've got 8, for some reason, lush dragon eggs. This is from Dragon Mounts Remastered, and this is by far and wide the easiest type of dragon to get in the game. You can tame ice and fire dragons. I think we covered that in my previous series. But absolutely the easiest way to get a rideable dragon is with one of these eggs. Now they drop from all kinds of places. Usually you'll find them in looter chests, like the golden chests, around random locations of the world. I'm not quite sure who was dropping these, but we've got one now, so let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. If you right click on the dragon egg, boom, it begins to hatch. Now this will take some time. It's not a quick process. I think it takes roughly about 20 minutes. Once that time is up, a dragon will pop out, but that's not where the story ends. No, you're going to have to tame that dragon once he arrives. Luckily enough, you can use fish, I believe. So we're going to go out and see if we can find some in a river, and I'll be right back. So 17 raw salmon later, let's mage leap back up to the tower and take a look at our egg. Now, you can't really see how close it is to hatching. It's shaking, so it'll get there eventually. So now let's just wait for this bad boy to hatch. Oh, is it cracking? Oh, there he is. Oh, he looks amazing. So let's get a look at this guy. Yeah, so as you can see, he is very small, but we have ourselves a dragon hatchling. So I've got these 17 raw salmon. I think we can begin. Fish is what you have to use to tame these. I've tried meat and it doesn't work. So we might as well spend all of our fish on getting this guy big and strong. So now he's very big and very strong, and he's got a saddle, so let's ride out. Oh yeah, riding my forest dragon around. Very cool, very clean. This looks amazing. So it's not quite as quick as Mage Leap, but it doesn't cost durability like a broom does. It's completely self-sufficient. The coolness factor of being able to ride a dragon is through the roof, so I'm very happy with this dragon. Honestly, this feels like the perfect organic place to end our series. The tower is built. We've explored most of the cool mods that I wanted to in this pack, but let's land this bad boy and call it a day. But my dudes, a massive thank you for watching me in our journey through the Arcane. Absolutely, if you want to get your hands on this Dragon Tower, minus of course the hole, check out the Discord, and Patreon and YouTube members can get their hands on the schematic. It's been a lot of fun. We've cast some spells, learned some mods, made some friends along the way. A massive thank you for watching, my dudes. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And until next time, take care.
Ah, rats. It looks like he's nowhere to be found. I hope he hasn't already been invited to this gala of evil. Oh, nope. Looks like he's gone to build a shire. What is it with this guy? He's obsessed. Might as well have a poke around and see what he's been up to. A dragon. How cute. This is great. But I like this. So let's see. If he's been gone some time, he might have been invited already. Aha, what's this?
O great and powerful wizard, you are cordially invited to the Sanguine Ball. Dress code is smart, casual.
What kind of moron-grade villain is this? Advertise your secret evil castle and expect the hero to just arrive and be captured. It's time to bury my past once and for all in the glorious flames of retribution.
Mixter, are the preparations complete for the evening?
Yes, Master. King Ajax is already here, with the others due to arrive shortly.
Excellent, my queen. Entertain the king, and when the time is right, turn him to our way of thinking.
It will be my pleasure. I've always wanted to taste a king.
My assassin was defeated, but we tracked the queen to a steampunk city where she hides in exile. But my armies will wipe that place off the map.
Such a big and impressive king. And that neck of yours is so powerful. I just want to bite it.
You want to what? Aha, very good. Is this part of the evening's entertainment?
Oh my god, it's the witch! We're all going to die!
We're going to what now?
Mixter, what is happening?
The witch has arrived on an incredibly large dragon. We are under attack.
Gra! I was released from my prison too soon. If I survive this night, I will make them all pay dearly.
It's not exactly sunlight or a wooden stake, but fire works well enough. Burn, you blood-sucking parasites. The work is finally done. All my scores settled. All my demons laid to rest. The last of my mistakes swept away with fire and fury. Can I at last know peace? Watch the sun rise on a grateful universe? It would have been nice to say goodbye to the farmer, but mayhem follows wherever he roams. No, I think I've earned my rest. After all, I have this mage tower to call my own now. It's time to write my own stories and not haunt the shadows of other people's. Goodbye, old friend. Perhaps our paths will cross again, one day.